Hello and welcome to taking part on my journey on becoming good at putting. This is episode number 8 and this time things are a little bit different. I'm back in Estonia and the weather has not been kind to me. But before going to that, let's talk about how things work here. Every putting chart will be coded in 3 different colors: red, grey and green. Red is something I would like to avoid as this is showing downgrade, but green will be upgrade. On every episode, the current result is compared to total of previous episodes. The current averages can be seen on the screen now. To consider yourself good at putting, every distance should be above 70%, but I'm not even close to that yet. My average yearly game score is 375 points so far, but good scores start from 700 points, so I have some work to do. But what is the yearly game? It is also called a putting league, but is a putting game that gives you anything between 0 to 1000 points. There's 20 rounds where every round has 5 putts, so you need at least 5 discs to play this. Otherwise you would be walking way too much. There's 6 different stations, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 meters. Every station will give you as many points as the station length from the basket is. From 5 meter station, every made putt will give you 5 points, and 8 meter station, every made putt will give you 8 points. The next station will be chosen on how many putts you did make the last time. With 0 putts, you will go to 5 meters. 1 made putt, you go to 6 meters. 2 made putts, you will go to 7 meters, and so on. Every start of the game will be on 10 meters, and you just go from there. Now that is out of the way, let's dive into how my practice days went. Practice day 103 was met with some cold weather, but it wasn't that bad. I'm starting my episode on 5 meters as change in climate is so big that starting from the beginning is smart. Day 104 had some windy conditions, but still managed to put kind of okay, but day 105 was already so bad wind that you can see how it affected my putts. All 3 days below my average is not a good start, but we have to consider the extremely different conditions that I had in Thailand. Yearly game I played only on day 103, as the next day's conditions were so windy that with my body getting used to the weather, it's still not there yet. Considering all the factors, 330 points is not that bad a start, as conditions are cold and body is not working as good. My average 5 meter result was not above 75%, so that means that I cannot move on the next distance and I will continue from 5 meters. You see, I made a rule that every 3 days is a section of the same distance. In order to move up a distance, I need to get at least 75% by average. But if I get below 50%, then I will be moving down a distance. Anyway, moving on. The next 3 days did bring some heavy weather with snow, wind and cold. As you can see from the footage, it was getting more snowy every single day. But how did I do? In a time where hands, discs and the weather were cold, I did not expect to be doing any good, but I'm actually surprised that my worst was on day 107 with 62% and my best was on day 108 with 75%. Needless to say that on this section I did not do any yearly games, as it was just a misery even making the 100 putts, but I did it and I'm happy with those results. Sadly, my average for this section comes 69% and therefore not going to progress to 6 meters just yet. But still happy with this section as it was really bad conditions for me. Check out my vlog episode 66, what happened on my off day on Sunday, but I started on Monday with fresh mind and weather. Day 109 was the best weather I had seen since coming back. It was not too cold and there was almost no wind. It resulted in a close to my total average at 84 points. Day 110 was a different story. The wind picked up and hit ratio was so much more worse. On day 111, I adjusted my angle so that I had strong tailwind, and it helped a little bit, as you can see. When it comes to the Yuli game, it was so obvious that every day the wind got worse and worse. Everyone knows that with strong wind, the long putts are harder, and that is what happened. Day 109 was not perfect, but still made some of the long putts, but was not consistent and collected 353 points. Day 110, the wind was little more and long putts were more difficult, so I collected not so bad 337 points. Day 111 was already extremely windy, and anything beyond 8 meters was a surprise after releasing the disc from my hand. My first red in Yuli game and only 316 points is just sad. But if you look at the section average on the 5 meter mark, then finally I can move on to 6 meters as the mark was above 75%. Not much over the needed ratio with 76%, but it's good enough to be promoted. Luckily, I'm going to end this episode with a promotion, and I'm going to start putting from 6 meters now. Sadly, on day 112, the wind picked up again and was extremely brutal on day 113. That is why you see that huge drop on my hit ratio. Day 114 was surprisingly calm with the wind, but had some confidence issues after those windy days. And even if I was hitting the basket, they did not stay inside the basket. With the Yuli game, it was interesting. On day 112, I actually played 3 Yuli games. None of them were any good, as I was stubborn not to understand that the wind was not having it. So I played on average 276 points. Ouch. Day 113 was so bad with the wind that I even didn't attempt to play the Yuli game. Day 114, I managed, even with the extremely busy day, to sneak in 4 Yuli games. But the scores were similar to each other, and I averaged only 322 points. The last game though was very promising, but towards the end I got tired and started missing low most of my putts. Thank goodness my section average from this distance was above 50%. And next section can be started from 6 meters as well. 57% average from 6 meters doesn't look good, but I promise you the winds were unusually crazy. As it is raining outside once again, this concludes this episode 8 of my road of becoming good at putting. You can see the averages of this episode on the screen right now, and as you can see, it has been a difficult period of time, period of 2 weeks. Hopefully the next 2 weeks is going to better, but I have no idea about that yet. We're going to check that out in 2 weeks time, but here is the total averages after this episode, which is a little bit downwards, but considering how much below my averages I was this episode, having like 1% go down in my total averages is actually not that bad. The averages itself, they're already bad. And also, I believe I actually found one little thing that might actually help my putting. I have to check it out. Hopefully it's going to be better. I don't know if you can hear the rain, it doesn't matter, but have a beautiful day and good luck with your putting training. Any questions, any ideas, comment below and let me know if you have any good ideas, what I should try, what I should change. One thing I want to thinking about changing is trying out new putters. Maybe give me ideas what type of putter I should use and or even try. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye bye.